Have you ever wondered why some images tend to make a ton of money on websites just like Adobe Stock and others, but some other websites don't generate any income whatsoever? Today I'm going to go over the 3 categories of images. You can see I have it covered up right here. 3 categories of images that you can put on Adobe Stock and other sites that are either going to make absolutely no money, that are going to make a lot of money, or somewhere in the middle. And I'll explain why that is. So if you guys have seen some of the videos in my members area and even some of the videos in the courses, there are very certain examples that I've outlined, that I've shown, are examples of really, really bad images. The 2 images here really fit into niches. So here I have $3 bills, like $3 signs, to show make a lot of money. Here I have a single dollar bill to just kind of reflect that, or show or symbolize that it will make money. And then I have here a 0. And let's kind of go over the very first image with a 0. Now, some of you might look at this and you might say, what is that? Is that a rat? Is that a hippo? Is that a, what is that? This is a picture of a hippo. Let me actually drag it forward. And let me explain why, because some people are going to get hung up on the niche. They're going to say, oh, hippopotamus? I didn't know hippopotamuses are, not profitable. It's not about the hippopotamus. It's about the actual image, okay? It's not about the animal. It's more about the style. If you look at this image looks like some, 1991 CGI movie image of a hippopotamus. Like, it's just probably one of the worst quality type images that you can have made. Typically, an individual who's utilizing something like this is trying to go the free route. And I know people get mad when I say that, and a lot of people say, well, I'm trying to do this for free. I'm trying to figure out how to do it for free. The reality is that there's a lot of images, guys, unfortunately, that don't make the cut from a quality perspective. This is a perfect example of it. If you look at the hippopotamus itself, it looks like it was crafted within clay or plastic in a way. It doesn't look real. It doesn't look natural. A lot of the times you have to, what I call, pick a side. If you want it to be an illustration, it should look exactly like an illustration. If you want it to look like a watercolor painting, it should look like that. If you want it to look like a real-life photograph, it has to look like that. This is somewhere in between the two. And the problem with this is that images like this simply do not have a lot of demand on Adobe Stock, right? People are very specific about what they want. And the reality is that they have no reason to compromise on Adobe Stock and other websites. They're not going to look at this and say, you know what, this is somewhat good. I get messages from some people from time to time where they'll say to me, well, I've uploaded 2,000 images, or I've uploaded 1,000 images. Like just the other day, there was a guy who messaged me, and he said, I uploaded 600 images. I didn't get a single download. When I asked him what his account was, all the images were things like this. When your system and the images you upload are just like this, it's not a matter of quantity at that point. I've spoken about in my past videos, and even in the members area, like I said, I've spoken about how quantity is key. If you want to play this game and you want to win, you have to do a lot. But it can't be this quality. It can't. This is too bad of quality. And you'll be lucky throughout a course of a year. If you have 1,000 images uploaded to a portfolio, throughout the course of a year, if you get 5 to 10 downloads for the year. I'm not talking about for the month. I'm talking about for the year. Because this is just really subpar, and you have to compare it to all the other type images. In fact, I actually want to pull this up. Let me just pause my screen for a second. If you go to my channel, this is a video that I have not uploaded just yet. But if you go to my channel and you see these little members only type videos, the next video I'm uploading is this members only type video where I'm showing different images that I'm creating for my new stock photography account. And I pointed out some images that I would not use under any circumstance. Images that unfortunately I have to discard. Part of the reason why I say unfortunately is because there's a testing process, right? If I'm using a certain AI, I have to understand, okay, this AI that I'm utilizing here, this model, this format, this prompt, whatever you want to call it, is just not high quality enough. And so I really can't publish images like this. And there were images similar to this, not hippopotamuses, but if that hippopotamus, multiple hippopotamus, I don't know what the word is. But anyways, a hippopotamus, not necessarily a hippopotamus, but it was the same clay-like fake style. It didn't look real. And once again, you got to pick a side when you're uploading images. If you're going to upload an illustration, let it be an illustration. If you're going to upload a photograph looking like a real life photograph, it has to look real. When you're utilizing AI tools, you have to realize that AI tool, that model, that training that it's gone through only has a certain capability level. So you have to understand what kind of images work best with it. I'll give you another example. In the members area, when I was posting these different members videos, one of the videos that I showed was me creating, I think, peaches, like the fruit, peaches. And it was actually through the course, the Superstock AI course. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to check out the course. But it was in the course, and I was creating different images. And I kind of pointed out how Midjourney can create pictures of a peach, the fruit, very well, but yet Leonardo AI cannot. And I tested different models, different settings, different things, but it just can't do it. And part of the reason why that is because of how the models are trained, how the AIs are trained. So when you utilize a AI tool that's for free, or typically free, when you have these high quality real life photography type images, it creates it requires much more server energy, much more electricity, much more power, much more money to create than an image like this. And so if you're using an AI tool that's just either free or subpar, because believe it or not, there are some AI tools that you will pay for that are just truly subpar, that are just not going to be as good, and they're going to produce images like this. Next thing you know, you're going to go through months and weeks and years uploading, to be honest, subpar images that your competition really beats you on, and you're going to wonder why you aren't making any money. And that's kind of one of the reasons why. So to be honest, if images are like this, they deserve the 0 category. They really, really don't have a chance competing or making you any kind of money in this niche whatsoever of stock photography. You might want to use it for a blog or something like that, but to be honest, other than that, it's really not going to serve you any real purpose. And the competition out there is very, very strong, and the truth is you're going to have to live up to the competition. The competition is just going to beat you if you're posting images like this. So this is a no-go. And once again, the video that I'm about to upload for the members, maybe it's already uploaded, you guys will see it, and it should be posted after this one, is a photo of it was a model. It was an individual who was a model, a guy of African descent, and it just looked clay-like. The image didn't look real. There was no real textures. The image just looked washed. It just didn't look good. And it didn't look natural. It didn't look realistic. And so for that reason, that's an image that I can't upload. Not because it would get me banned or anything like that, but because it serves no purpose. It's just purely a waste of time. So remember, guys, it's not just purely about quantity. I talk about quantity a lot. Quantity is very important. You want to have a lot of quantity when you're uploading, but quality is of extreme value as well, so put that into consideration. So let's move on to the next category. We have the single dollar bill sign here, which is images like this. At this category, it's not a matter, once again, of niche, okay? Now, it just so happens that this is in the food niche. It's a blue picture of blueberries, but the picture is very natural, very real. You can look in this image, although it was created by an AI, it doesn't strike you as something unnatural. It doesn't strike you as something fake. And the reason why is if you look deeply into the image, you could notice some things. There's blurring in the background. There's focus in the front. Cameras tend to have these different settings, and even photographers, when they photograph something, they want focus on a certain element, the camera will blur out the other elements that are not focused on. So this is an example of that. And that's one of the things that sometimes real photographers can do to add more detail to an image or have a focal point of an image. Now, I'm no photographer, so I'm not going to act like it. But this looks, just by that blurring and that focused element, right, in the image, it looks much more natural, okay? The textures of the image are real. The lightings are different. There's shadowing that makes it much more natural. And of course, the actual subject of the image is more natural. It seems much more natural. Hippopotamuses might look like this, but they don't look like this in reality. If you go to a real life Africa or whatever and you try to see a hippopotamus, they don't look like this, right? The skin texture, it just doesn't look natural, but this does, right? To me, an image like this looks like an image from like a magazine, all right? Now, the reason why I subject this image to a $1 bill sign, so just a single bill sign and not two or one. And if you notice, there is no two bills here, $2 signs here. The reason why I subject it to one is because of the niche. Now let me explain. There are some images that what I call the casuals. A casual type image is an image that really you need to have a lot of these, and every portfolio should have a lot of these. And something that I want to clarify is, if you guys have seen some of my print-on-demand videos in the past, I've always used to say, make your store single niche. In stock photography, I do not say that. Why? Because it's predicated on social media promotion. If I'm going to promote something on social media, it's going to be singular niche-wise. So if I have a t-shirt store and I make pictures of food on my t-shirts, I'm only going to have pictures of food on my t-shirts. I'm not going to put pictures of animals. I'm not going to put pictures of trees because it doesn't relate. However, in stock photography, we're not using social media to promote stock photography. We're not, I mean, at least I'm not. Definitely be a waste of time for me. It's not going to be worth the squeeze at all. The juice is not going to be worth the squeeze. So for me, I'm uploading in all kinds of different niches. And since I'm uploading in all kinds of different niches, I need to have what I call my casual foundational uploads. These are images that don't strike a very specific niche. They're not hard to create. And I could just riff them off with an AI tool. I've shown the videos how, using a Leonardo AI tool or a Midjourney AI tool, and just have these images automatically created on autopilot. They don't really need to have any specific details. They just need to be images that fill up my portfolio size. Once again, this is where we start talking about quantity here. Quality should already be fulfilled. You know, at this point into the game, nobody should be making images like this. Okay? So if quality is not an issue, then it's a matter of quantity. Now, this is a food niche type image. Food niche type images certainly have demand, but they also have a lot of competition, which is why I put the single dollar sign, right? I'm not putting $2 here because it's not going to make you as much. You're not going to find, or excuse me, I'm not going to say you're not going to, but it's not probable to have an image created in today's world that's going to create you, $700 a month, $200 a month, or even $100 a month in the food niche. Those kind of images are already holding territory on the search engines right now. Could things change in the future? It absolutely could, especially with the emergence of video on AI. Things can absolutely change. But at this point into the game, you need to have a portfolio of what I call foundational images. You really shouldn't look at quantity until you pass at least 10 to 15,000 images. 10 to 15,000 images, then you could start paying attention. But you want to create images in all kinds of different niches, from food to animals to sceneries to whatever. Create as many as you can, obviously being quality, right? Very high quality. And they'll fit in this category. They're not going to create you tens of thousands of dollars, but they're consistent drip feed type income. Drip feed type income just looks like this. Some images are going to make you, a sale or two a month. Some images are going to generate a sale or two a week, but some images are going to generate a sale every 3 months, every 4 months, every 5 months. You can't really control that, but what you can control is the output. So that's why I fit it here. The next and final category, which gives the $3 bill signs, is this. So once again, people are going to get hooked on the niche here. It's not about the niche. This is considered the construction niche. And you have a picture of a guy who's installing insulation here into these studs. And it's not about the niche here. So like I said, the amateurs are going to watch this video and they're going to say, oh, I haven't done any construction videos, construction photos. Let me go create some. That's amateur mentality. For somebody to bring up an idea of an image and then you go and create more of those images, you're not really thinking right here. What you have to do is you have to start thinking outside the box. What is this image? This is an image of a guy who's installing insulation. Think of what purpose does this image serve? Who would purchase this image? Well, maybe somebody who is a contractor, somebody who wants to show that, hey, we can install insulation. They might use this for their website. Not all website builders are super advanced and they know what they're doing and they have photographers. Sometimes it might be a guy who just searches a basic YouTube video, figures out how to build a basic website on Wix that's really low quality, doesn't really serve a good purpose, but he's trying to do his best. And it just so happens that your image might show up for that. So in terms of niche, don't think of niche. Think of purpose. What purpose does your image serve? Well, what we tend to find is images that make a lot more money serve very specific purposes versus images that are generalized can serve, maybe not generate as much money, but they're generalized purposes. They can be used in so many different things. So for example, this image of the blueberries here, let me try to bring it forward here. This image, let me delete this hippo. This image of these blueberries, they could serve a lot of purposes. They could serve as a wallpaper. They could serve in a recipe book. They could serve as a cover to a book. They could do so many purposes. I can list them out here we can sit here for a day listing purposes. I mean, you could literally chat GPT it. Ask ChatGPT, if I have a photo of a picture of blueberries, what purpose could it serve? What audience could it serve? Who would buy it? And you can come up with a list of 1,000 different entities of who would buy something like this or download an image like this. But for an image like this, the options kind of narrow down. We know that it's going to be in the construction niche. We also happen to know it has to do something related to insulation, right? So if I was, let's say, a company that, if I had employees who install insulation, I'm not going to go find a picture of somebody doing woodworking. I'm not going to go find a picture of a sunny, nice day on the beach. I'm going to show pictures of only that purpose, which is a bunch of people installing insulation in some sort of building. I'm going to look for images like that. And if it's not me who's designing the website and you hire an agency or something like that, the agency member is going to do the exact same thing. And so that's what I'm trying to say here is that images that make the big bucks are images that serve a financial purpose, right? They serve a financial purpose. So if you're really, really highly focused on making as much money as possible, which you don't have to be, but if that's what your concern is, then you really have to sit down and really think about it. It's not spam creation. Now, in my course, the Super Stock AI course, I'll just pull it up over here. The Super Stock AI course, I'll leave a link in the description. There was a segment in this course where I talked about spam uploading. Now, immediately when people hear the word spam uploading, all types of antennas go up, all types of red flags go up, and they say they have a negative connotation towards it. But don't think of it as a negative. In some sort of way, you're going to have to kind of spam the system. You're going to have to create a lot of images to really fill up your portfolio. Let's talk about people who are photographers who actually go out there and take pictures of things. When they find a subject or something to take a picture of, they're taking pictures of that subject in like 5,000 different which ways. And that's the truth, right? They are. So for example, a photographer might find a model, go to a studio. They're taking a picture of that model from every different angle, maybe like 600 photos per hour they're taking. And out of those 600, if they're stock photography sellers, they're going to try to upload as many as they can as long as they don't necessarily repeat. So if the model's in a different pose, if the model's moving her hand a different way, if the lighting is different, whatever situation, he's going to take those pictures and upload them. Now, some people might call that spam, but if it's not necessarily a negative thing, you have to look at it in a way that's positive. You have to build out your portfolio. You know, you're competing with accounts with 500, 800, 1 million downloads per account. The only way you get up there is you have to have a sizable portfolio. You're not going to be able to do that just off of one image alone or 100 images or even 1,000. It's just not enough. So when I talked about it, I talked about spam uploading. I also mentioned how nobody should really be concerned about either quitting the business or thinking about doing something else until you pass 10 to 15,000 uploads. You know, I used to say 10,000, but really it should be 15, 20, 30,000 uploads, because if you want significant sources of income from this business, which by the way, this is one of the easiest, if not the easiest business on the internet today, then you really have to think about, okay, I'm going to have to do something somewhere in between here. Now, you don't have to do this all the time. A lot of people look at the dollar bills and they say, oh, I have to do this strategy because it makes more money. And the answer is no, you don't. You have to think logically here. Most people, right, have to be in a scenario where they need to make money from this business. So if you look at your portfolio, if you don't have 50,000, 40,000, 60,000, 800, to 100,000 images, don't necessarily have to focus on things that are going to consume time, because thinking of images like this could possibly, depending on your strategy, because everybody's strategy is a little bit different, could consume a lot of time. Images like this is where you need to start. Yes, they're good quality. Yes, they serve a purpose. The purpose might be generalized, but you could do a lot of them, and you could utilize AI to go ahead and do so. And it shouldn't really take you too much energy of yourself, right? It shouldn't. It could take you financial energy, like $20 for an automation tool, or $30 for an automation tool, $20 for 20 or 25 or even $15 or even $30 for a image generation tool, whether it be Midjourney, Leonardo, however you want to set it up. All these kind of things do cost money, but then again, you could pull money from other resources, from other businesses, maybe from your job or something like that. And that's really the most profitable way to do this, as opposed to kind of trying to do this way, the zero way, which is really just going to leave you high and dry, wasting money, wasting time. Really, time is more important than money. You're wasting extreme amounts of time in this business if you're doing it this way, which you're probably going to do it manually. You're probably going to use the lowest quality of image generators, and it's really going to hurt you over time. So if you're serious about your success long term, you need to craft a strategy in between this, and you could start right here. You don't have to think about very specific ideas for images. You could start right here. Some of the images that I've been kind of teaching about or talking about in the members area is I started this mini series where I upload a video every now and then where I talk about profitable niches or money-making niches in Adobe Stock. So I think this was my last video, episode number 4. We have episode number 3 here, etc. They're all members-only videos where I kind of share different niches that serve very specific needs. I won't talk about them here, obviously. The people who paid for it won't be fair to them, but I'll leave it there. But the point is that you can create all kinds of different content, and starting here is not something wrong. Like, it's okay to build a portfolio out, knowing that it's not going to be nearly as profitable as some other images, but it's much less effort. You see what I'm trying to say? It's a strategy game. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your pawn, your soldier, to save the queen, if that makes sense in a chess reference. But sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to sacrifice resources to gain the bigger picture, to gain the win. So that's all I got to say. Hopefully this video helps out, and hopefully you guys do really well. All right? Leave comments down below. Talk to me. Ask me questions. I'm trying to post more consistently here on YouTube, and I'll be happy to answer them. All right? I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys are doing well, and I want to see you guys succeed, all right? I'll talk to you later. Peace out. Bye.